Growing income inequality is a problem for business and society. I've been chosen to be on the against side of this argument, and I want to argue my point with three major ideas. Number one, the rising levels of economic inequality often correlate with economic growth. In 2008, before the recession came, income inequality rate had grown significantly over those years, as well as the economy had grown and society was doing well as a whole. But when the recession came, the inequality rates dropped. And then after the recession, as the economy grew, the income inequality rate grew as well. This showed that the income inequality rate corresponds directly with the economic growth that we're facing. So when you have a high level of income inequality, you typically have a good, strong economy. This same effect has also been seen around the world, specifically in China. Um, it's also a sign that the free market economy is working. When you have a good or service that you're selling at a reasonable price and you have a great business, the business is going to grow and make money, and you're going to be very successful and very rich, and you're going to become the top part of the income bracket. And the same thing is when you make that money, that's money that somebody else isn't making. So if you're a billionaire, somebody else can't be a billionaire too. You're using that money in society, that those resources that are out there, you're using them for yourself. And most people would like to be on that side and get the billionaire company and make all the money and grow. So I think it's a good thing that we have high levels of income inequality because it shows that our economy is growing and doing well. The second point I wanted to make was the societal benefits of income inequality. Um, Going back to John D. Rockefeller, he started his oil company. He had a small market share at the time. He eventually grew and became a monopoly in the market. He did this through various ways. Some of them are not seen as positive, but what he did do that was positive, he lowered the price of oil down to a level where everybody could afford it. And it changed the way people were living their lives. It changed how people heated their homes and lights and stuff. They became more productive in the late hours at the daylight and things of that nature. So his used his income inequality. He was very wealthy. He had unusual amount of market share, and he used that for the greater benefit of society as a whole. And he also lowered the oil prices and the gas in order to help others. He might didn't do it for that reason, but it helped Henry Ford come out with the Model T. He made it, and there wasn't really a huge market, but since the gas lowered, the market grew, and that helped people get the Model T, and that revolutionized the way we travel. So there were several different things that happened because of his income inequality and where he was financially, that he was able to really impact society on a positive level. Now, some may say, well, what about if he would have raised the prices since he had a monopoly? Well, when you do that, that brings me to my third point. The income inequality increases the innovation and entrepreneurship of others. If you see somebody with a product that's necessity and they're charging an insane amount of money for it, most people look for ways to get around it. And that's how new ideas are born. People see, hey, I don't like this, or this isn't fair, or I don't agree with this, and they go out and they figure out some type of way to change it, and that's how the next $1 million idea is born, and that's how they become the billionaire. And without the income inequality, most people would not be motivated to go out and make money and create these companies and stuff, because if everybody was making on average 150,000 a year, and the lower end of the average, the people, let's say the poorest people were making 140,000 a year, and the richest people were making 160,000 a year, there's really no motivation to change. There's no motivation to, you know, come out with this new idea of trying to get rich. When you see the richest person is making 160,000 a year and you're only at 150,000, what's the point in trying? You're not going to get very far. But if you're making 30,000 a year and you see somebody who's making $2 billion a year, you're going to say to yourself, how can I get like them? What can I do to get me as rich as them, to make that kind of money, to be successful? And that's where people come up with these new ideas. It rarely happens that someone stumbles upon $1 million idea. It's typically born out of necessity. Also, these revolutionaries and these innovators, they help redistribute the wealth. So if you come out with the $1 billion idea like the oil prices with Rockefeller. If you come out with, let's say, people who are coming out with these solar energy projects and these renewable resources and things of that nature to operate society as a whole, they're seeing necessity, hey, it's too expensive, whether it's economically expensive or society expensive or it's depleting our natural resources to operate the way we do. So let's go out and invent a new way. They're going out there harnessing the solar power and the wind power, and they're using this to help build a different type of travel, a different type of living, and they're becoming billionaires in the process. So out of that necessity, they created a different company, and they were able to soak up some of that market share and become billionaires themselves. So it's a cycle that repeats itself, and lots of people are benefit within the cycle. And I think that income inequality does have many great benefits, and these benefits typically go on from the person who has the money to society as a whole. So we should not be, leery of income inequality, but we should strive to understand it and accept it and try to see how we can benefit most from it. Thank you.